We'll now discuss another kind of graph called scatterplots. Scatterplots are used whenever we want to look at two variables and see how they relate to each other. So for a scatterplot, the first thing we need is two different numerical variables. And once we have those, we're essentially going to plot them as a point. So we'll have an x-axis and a y-axis, and each individual in this study will be 1 point. The x value will be the first numerical variable, and the y value will be the second numerical variable. So let's look at a couple of examples. So here I have data for absences a student has and then their grade in the class. So this would be the two numerical variables, the absences and the grades. And each one of these students has a number of absences and they have a grade, and each one of those will be a single point. So we start with our axes. And we'll put absences on the x-axis and grades on the y. And then we just need to plot the points. So we'll let each one of these be 5. And we'll let each one of these be 10. And then we just plot. The first student had 6 absences and a grade of 82, so we plot the point 6, 82. We then have 2 absences with a grade of 86, 15 absences with a grade of 43, 9 absences with a grade of 74, 12 absences with a grade of 58, 5 absences with a grade of 90, and 8 absences with a grade of 78. And so we have our scatter plot. Let's look at one more. For this example, we look at the number of cars that a rental car company has in about 10,000s and the revenue they make in billions. And so I'm going to put cars on the x-axis and revenue on the y. So the first one had 63 cars and a revenue, or 63 10,000 cars and $7 billion. The next one is 29 and 3.9. We then have 20.8 and 2.1, 19.1 and 2.8, 13.4 and 1.4, and then 8.5 and 1.5. So we have our scatter plot. So as we examine scatter plots, there's going to be a couple of things that we look for. What we're really looking for are these overall patterns and then deviations from that pattern. The first one we look at is direction. How is the graph moving? Is it moving up and to the right? Is it moving down and to the right? Does it have something else going on? The next is form. In general, does it look kind of like a line? Does it look like a curve, like a quadratic? Does it look like something else? What's the general shape going on there? We need to know about the strength. If we say that it looks kind of like a line, how close is it to that line? Is it really far away? Is it really close? And then we want to look at outliers, ways that we move away from these general patterns. So as we go into examining more about scatter plots, we will concentrate on these 4 things.